Good morning. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing today? Today is the day that Jupiter rules, and Jupiter is currently at the 8th degree of Aries. So we are in a full moon today. The full moon comes in, good morning. The full moon comes in tonight at 6:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 9:35 p.m. Eastern, and it comes in at the hour of Mercury. So this full moon is going to deliver us a great deal of information and information and energy to inform us, which is really a powerful thing to do and to understand. So at any rate, Jupiter at the 8th degree of Aries. Jupiter is about expansion and blessings. Jupiter is about your faith. Jupiter is so significant to the human experience. I'm really blessed that I've lived a long enough time to be able to see, to have had time to experiment with life. To have time to experiment with life, because I want to say that what I have to, I've practiced Buddhism, I've studied Hinduism, to varying degrees. I've touched all of the garments of these things, and I've touched many of the garments, not all of the garments. That was not true. Many of the garments. And really, it's all one thing. It's all one thing. It is your relationship to the planets, y'all. It's your relationship to the planets. Because the only thing to know is that everything is within you. And the way to really access the codes, because this is a coded reality. Everything here is codes. It doesn't look like it. You can't see the codes, but if you guys watch The Matrix, right, and how they would be looking at the codes, and then when it would translate, it would be human beings moving around, and that is the truth. The codes are the energy, the energetic imprints, and the way to tap the code is through the planets. It's through the planets. And numerology, and, astrology, all the things, that's the universe's codes are symbols. And when it comes down to numbers, those symbols are 0 and 1. But really, it's just all codes. So the codes of Jupiter, right? The codes of Jupiter are your faith, your vision, the way you connect to your divine self. How do you actually connect to your divinity? Everybody's connection to their divinity is unique. Everybody's connection is different. And your chart, your natal chart, will tell you how to access that. That's why I love this shit so much. I love it. I love it so much because Jupiter is about knowing. Jupiter is about your faith. Jupiter is about your vision. And I remember when I didn't have a vision and I didn't understand how my faith worked, and I didn't get that the universe was always conspiring to get me on the right path. The universe is constantly giving signals to move you in the right direction. And I remember when I didn't understand that. I didn't know it. I didn't believe it. I didn't think it. And there was so much trauma. So the trauma has to be addressed. You cannot skip over the trauma. You cannot skip over the things you believed that weren't true. You cannot skip over the ways you participated in the culture. And you have to address all of those things. And we've all been born into it. We're in the dark ages right now. So we're all born into this system that is crumbling. And we've all had to adhere to it in our unique and individual ways. And those unique and individual ways that we have adhered to the system, we have to undo those codes inside of us. We have to translate them, transmute them, alchemize them. And how do we do that is through a vision. One of the ways we do it is by having a vision of who you are and what you're up to. So this is what the Jupiter class is going to be focused on. We're going to be doing the work. The Jupiter class starts tonight. And Jupiter is about expansion. And in Aries, it's about expanding your own identity. It's about expanding your courage to be yourself, having the courage to stand in your own individualized, unique expression of the divine, to allow yourself to be made into the image that God would have you be made into. And nobody can do it but you. And it is important and significant that you give yourself the opportunity and the space and the grace and the tools and the resources to begin to cultivate this experience of becoming God in the way that only you can be God. You must allow yourself the curiosity, the consciousness. You must allow yourself to honor your desire, because your deepest desire is to be your God self. That's what you want more than anything. You might think it's going to be money or love. Really, what you really want is to feel true to yourself. You believe there are things that are going to make you feel that. And as you go out in the world and you get those things, you'll see that they don't. They don't make you feel that thing. They don't work, because it's not out there. It's not outside of you. It's inside. And so you have to give yourself the permission to undo the momentum that you have that's plugged into this world, to undo that momentum and begin to create a new momentum that goes internal, so that you can understand. Because here's the thing, as our external world collapses, as this 3D reality, this patriarchal world that we've been in, which is so hilarious to me right now. I literally, all of it is so, and I see why it's scary, but there's so much misinformation. And here's the thing, anything you want to believe is fine. It's totally fine. But if you want to have the most peace in your life, align yourself to cosmic law. Cosmic law does not lie. Cosmic law is what it is. It has been what it is from the beginning of this time experience. So align yourself to that. And then as you align yourself to that, that alignment will live through you as your own divinity. And then you get to create and do whatever you want. But you have to understand the foundation and the basis of this shit. And the basis of this stuff is nature. It's the planets. It's our connection. It's oneness. And your relationship to all of that is what creates who you are. Your relationship to all of that then allows you to take all of those materials that are within you and configure them in the way that you are called to configure, that you are called to be, that you are called to fulfill. So Aries is about the self. It's you. It's your identity. It's how you identify yourself. And Aries is the beginning. And so right now we have Jupiter at the 8th degree of Aries. And so we are creating a new identity. You literally get to create a new identity, y'all. I mean, this shit is fascinating. Like, we weren't taught that we could create a new identity. You need to create a new identity often. You need to always be in a constant state of building your identity and your relationship to this plane and why you came and your purpose. That needs to be the first thing in your consciousness, what you're up to. One of the things that I love about the work that I do with my clients, the clients who are really committed. I mean, and when I say really, everybody's really committed. But the clients who get to a certain level where it's like, get clear about your purpose. What were you called here for? What were you called here to be and do? Now, we're going to get clear about that through you being able to identify your own system. How does your system function? The way your system, and when I say your system, I mean your body, your emotions, your heart, your ethereal body, your shadow body. How does it function? You got to fucking get to know yourself. You have to fall so in love with yourself that you are not compelled by the external reality anymore, because you find the treasure of who you are in yourself. And the external reality has no value other than, okay, what do I get to be here? Who am I going to create here? What dynamic do I get to experience as myself here? So when you do the work and really get clear about your purpose, then we can say, okay, you know what your purpose is. Now, does this relationship align to your purpose? Does this job align to your purpose? Does this event align to everything in your life? Can align to the single yes that your soul brought you here to fulfill. And when you do that, everything changes, because things start to fall away that don't have any value. And like you start struggling over because you stop trying to be a dog because you're a bird, right? It's like, birds realize they can fly, and it's like, okay, I don't have to bark anymore. I don't do that shit anymore. I don't do that because I'm clear that how I function is like a bird. So I'm going to fly. I'm going to have vision. I'm going to nest. These are the ways I function. I don't function like a dog anymore. I don't obey a master. I don't wait for food. Right? You understand what I'm saying? These are just energies, and I'm just using those as metaphors and examples. But that's how this shit works, you guys. You got to understand who you are, how you function, so that you can serve your function. And the ways that you are in pain now or in sorrow, it's because you're far away from your function. It's causing you pain. It's causing you emotional distress. If you're in a relationship and it don't feel good, that relationship ain't the one for you. You got into it for some bullshit ass reasons that you didn't understand. Were bullshit at the time, so you did it. Now you got to undo it because you're malfunctioning. You're malfunctioning. Your relationship, all that sort of stuff. Things are not working in your life because your energy is malfunctioning. You're using it inappropriately. You're acting like a cockroach, and maybe you're supposed to be a weasel. Everything has its function in this reality. Everything, including you. Including the things that we don't think are desirable, including the things that we don't want. They all have a function. They all serve a purpose. And when you understand that, you can live into it. So the moon today, let me tell y'all, roaches been here from the beginning, y'all. Like, roaches are great, right? Like, roaches endure. But maybe that's not your function this time. Maybe your function is not to be enduring this time. Maybe your function is to be transmuting, like a caterpillar and a butterfly. You know what I mean? Like, it all has its value. It all serves its purpose, and it all belongs. So we're going to have a full moon tonight in Aquarius, and that full moon is all about your blueprint, your true identity. Your true identity. And it's not fucking around. I know y'all can feel it. It is not fucking around. Your true identity. And that is who God says you are. The class that we're working on right now, we're starting for Aries, and Jupiter is like, who do you say you are? Because Aries is about the self. But Aquarius is God. Who does God say you are? Have you asked? Did you ask her? Did you ask her, who does God say you are? And in that consideration today, just pay attention to your life. Thank you, Spirit. So I give thanks. I give thanks for the presence of mind that is this universal breath that breathes me, that lives me and expresses me, that moves through the light of the sun and the rotations, the cycles of the moon, the power of the mountains, and the essence of worms. Like, the universe is complex, and ever expressive. And I know that this is not only true for the universe, but it is true through me. It is true through each and every one of us who is within the sound of my voice. We are lifted into the light of the Most High that is within us. And so I am deeply grateful for each and every one of us who is committed to the work of finding ourselves inside of ourselves, of knowing that the true kingdom of God is within, that it is not a man or a woman, it is an essence, it is a consciousness, it is a way of being, and that there is not one action that anyone can take to add or subtract from this truth. God is God, Goddess is God, inside and outside, no matter what you think, feel, believe, it just is. It is the breath breathing you through every experience. It is the flow of the blood through your veins that do not depend on your anything. It just is. It is the beating of your heart. So for this, I am grateful. I am grateful for our ancestors that lived their lives through us and in us. I am grateful for the direction that we are all being guided to and through. I am grateful for the unseen beings that support us, that love us. I am grateful for the unseen beings that trip us up, that are helping us wake up to who we are. I'm grateful for the falling down and the getting up, for I know that it is all one and the same. God, Goddess. So for this and so much more, I give thanks and I lovingly let it be, saying, Ashe, Aho, Alhamdulillah. Peace and blessings, everyone. Bye-bye.